Okay. I just felt like going live right now. No, there's nobody here, so it's fine. But I didn't want to save all this on my phone. I'm just on my couch. So you're sitting with me on my couch. Welcome to my couch. This is where I film most of my videos anyways. I'm gonna do some crocheting and some knitting because my brain can't uh, do it for very long. I get bored really easily. Um, and so I like it, but it's not something I can turn into anything other than a part-time hobby. Mostly because I get bored and then I don't want to do it. Um, which for crocheting so far, since I'm doing just simple crochet, it's not that big of an issue. But for knitting, I I start wanting to make things a little bit complicated, so I'll switch up the knit to a purl, or I'll go back and forth to try to make designs, but then I have to put it down to go do something else, and then I forget what I'm doing. Then I come back and I'm like, oh, was I knitting or was I purling? And then I mess up the design, and then I was like, oh, well, there goes that project. It's just a big disaster. So this is just like a normal. I'm just trying to make like a little scarf for my offspring. I'll turn you this way so you can see. Not just stare at my face. I'm trying to make a scarf. I started this months ago, but I wanted to make it in time for winter. Her favorite color is blue. That's why it's blue. Blue and rainbow. Those are her favorite colors. At the moment was red. She likes black as well. She's just all over the place. But yeah, I wanted to do a little Q&A, but there's no one here. So in my first introduction video, I kind of went over who I am. My name is Mara. Nice to meet you. I am now 31 years old, born in the year of the water monkey, so can be a bit mischievous and knowledge driven. I like learning new things and new skills, and my hobbies are plentiful, and I basically like anything that has to do with creating or learning. So I love reading. I love listening to music, to love watching dance. I love dancing, but my health is well, it's getting better. I have borderline anemia, so that kind of limits my energy I can utilize. And dance requires a lot of energy. And at this time, I'm not quite there yet. I'm hoping to increase it, and I'm allergic to nickel, which is like in everything, including supplements and vitamins. So I have to really be careful with what I take. I can't just take iron supplements. I found some. They seem to be working. So I'm hopeful that that does well. But just trying to increase my health while also acknowledging all of the limitations my body has, like allergic to nickel, and I have seasonal allergies, which means I have a lot of cross reactants. So foods sometimes make my mouth itchy, which kind of sucks. And foods that are high in nickel are like nuts and seeds and all the green leafy things that are high in iron and all the other vitamins I'm low on that I uh, have to take supplements for. It's not too bad. But I'm also lactose intolerant, so I have a very limited diet. I enjoy eating food, but I have to eat my own food. I don't really eat fast food a lot because of the oils and stuff I have to be careful with. But that means I'm like on a diet. I just it's it's I have no choice but to be on a diet. uh, that's fine. But eh, what else? Let's see. I some of the hobbies I enjoy are knitting, crocheting, but I can't do them for very long. I enjoy painting. I like the idea of ceramics, but my hands get dry super easily. So that doesn't quite appeal to have clay constantly on my hands. But I liked making ceramics when I was in college. That was fun. I like singing. I come from a family of singers. We all sing. I like playing my violin. We all played an instrument. um, I like playing the keyboard and piano. I picked up the guitar for my kid because she said she wanted to learn how to play, but then like she, on rare occasions, will pick up the guitar to play with it, and then she like gets bored. So maybe when she's older, then I can teach her how to do that. She does play on her keyboard, so that's good. And then I like to garden. I don't have a garden right now, but I love to garden. When I get settled in a place, I start planting things, collecting seeds and planting things. A lot of my ancestors were like gardeners, ranchers, farmers type of thing. Farm hands, 'cause they didn't own the farm, but they worked on the farm. And what else? Dancing I mentioned, music overall, art, libraries. I love books. I love the smell of old books. Those are the best. I used to be a coffee addict, but coffee affects your sinuses. It makes it worse. Caffeine in general affects your sinuses and makes it worse. It's also high in nickel, along with chocolates. That sucks. But and then it also affects your iron absorption. So I had to give up coffee because I was a coffee addict for a long time. But I'd give it up. And then what else? What else is there? What are my other hobbies? I like to sew. It's not very good sewing, but I do like to sew. Lately, a lot of my sewing has to do with like sewing up my kids' clothes whenever she makes holes in them. Tears or holes that I can easily fix. Or if she has clothing that's too long for her, too wide for her, I'll go ahead and sew those up. Let me see. I tried to make her pants once. There's a whole side quest of me sewing shorts based off of measurements of shorts that she already had, but the material I had was not stretchy, and the material that I of the shorts I took the pattern from was stretchy, and so they did not fit her, but they did fit one of her stuffed animals. So now it's on her one of her stuffed animals. Um, let's see what else. Sewing, knitting, crocheting, painting, singing, dancing, all the things. I think I've mentioned everything. I like organizing. I like building stuff. So like give me like a piece of furniture you gotta assemble. I love doing that. I do partially like working on my car. So, like a couple weekends ago, I went to the junkyard and I pulled a couple charcoal canisters from different cars because mine was out. And so out as in it was leaking and it wasn't going to let me pass emissions test if I didn't get that fixed. So I went to the junkyard to get some new ones, and then also practice how to take it out. So when I did it on my car, I would have already know how to do it. And so then I spent 3.5 hours taking my canister off and putting the new one on. And it took so long because my car, I'm from the United States. I live in a desert state, and my car came from the East Coast, where I guess they salt the ground a lot more than over here. And so the whole car is like eroded slightly, and there's a lot of rust under the car. So it took me so long because one, the valves, the hoses that lead into the charcoal canister are unique, and you have to take them off a certain way, otherwise you're gonna have to get a whole new hose. And so it took me so long so long, so frustrated to do it, but I did it. And then the bolts wouldn't come off because they were all rusted. So then I had to go get some WD-40, and I did this all in the AutoZone parking lot because I was like, well, let me just take care of this myself. And some of you will be like wondering, you have a kid, where's her dad? Why isn't he helping you with all this? Well, I'm not with her dad anymore. And even if I was, he wouldn't be doing any of this anyways, because when we were together, I was the one doing car maintenance, and I was the one doing home maintenance and fixing things around the house, and that was kind of my thing. He just paid for it. Because I was a stay-at-home mom for 5 years, just about 5 years. And then we got divorced, so I got a job so I could stand on my own feet. And funny with that, I told him, I was like, look, dude, I paid for the wedding. I'll pay for the divorce. You just need to sign the paperwork. And so it's an uncontested divorce, but I have sole custody of my kid. So he gets visitation rights, so she's with him right now because he gets to see her on the weekends. And she'll be coming home probably in a couple hours, so I need to, well, it's fine. I just have to cook for the week. Oh, I love to cook and I love to bake, and I do arts and crafts with my kid. And you notice these stars all around is because she wanted like glow in the dark stars. So I saw these on clearance and I was like, oh, this will be fun. Let's go put it up around so when the lights turn off, they're glowing in the dark, and that's pretty cool. And in the hallway, I have I changed out the hallway bulb to like a bug bulb. So because sometimes we get like mosquitoes and like gnats and stuff in here, and I don't want to be using like poison or anything for that. So I got that bulb, and so it acts as also like a hallway night light. So if you have to walk in the hallway at night, you can still see because it's purple light. And then but we have stars in there too. So at nighttime, when you turn off the hallway light and just turn on the bug light, the stars glow, and it's pretty cool. I try to make my home as kid friendly as possible, within reason. The skazoos you see up there, those are like Stray Kids skazoos. I started with a Christmas one because I wanted one like a Christmas wreath kazoo, and so I did the Christmas theme. And then after Christmas, I was like, well, I'm not done staring at this, but I have to take it down because it's not winter or Christmas anymore. So then I did like a spring Valentine's one, and then I did a summer one, and then I did the one that's up right now is the fall one. Oh, that's a notification. It's the fall one that's up right now. I messed up. Eh. This this yarn is like dollar store yarn. Is it, or is it the one I got from? No, this is dollar store yarn. I have a whole bunch of yarn that I got from like Michael's and Joann's, but this one I also buy them from the dollar store too sometimes. But that means that they kind of fall apart sometimes. So it's a little frustrating, but it's fine. And then what else? Oh, what do I like to bake? I used to bake cookies all the time, but my kids stopped wanting to eat them. And a lot of the ingredients have nickel in it anyways. So I don't bake cookies as much anymore. But I do make pizza from scratch. But because tomatoes make me kind of sensitive, I make it with sweet potatoes. So, and turkey sausage. Did a lot. Alright, I'm getting bored of this. And it's becoming challenging. So, moving on to the knitting. Like, what else? I like learning languages. So I was raised speaking English only. My parents only spoke English. The elders, like my grandparents and my great aunts, they spoke Spanish, but they didn't teach their kids. So I don't speak Spanish. My parents don't speak Spanish. My aunts and uncles don't speak Spanish. Everyone in my family just speaks English pretty much. But I did take 3 years in high school of Spanish, so I can read it somewhat. So while I'm doing my genealogy of trying to figure out where I come from, I can read those really old Spanish cursive documents to figure out who the parents were, where they lived, and all that. But I also grew up in a city in California. I was born out here in this desert state of New Mexico, and then I was raised in California. So I grew up in a city in San Gabriel Valley, in Los Angeles County, called Monterey Park. And if you don't know Monterey Park, it's like this tiny suburban town that has a lot of sister cities throughout Asia. Um, and I think the last time I checked their city, like, web page, it said the demographic of the city is like 73% Asian. And I want to say it's about 15% Hispanic. And then like a bunch of other breakdowns. So I grew up hearing a lot of Cantonese and Mandarin. And so I picked up a couple words and phrases here and there. And then I like watching C-dramas as well. So I pick up some phrases there. But I already know I can't learn that language because it's very tonal and I'm dyslexic. And I can barely speak my vowels normally. So that's just not something my brain, I don't think I can do. I could be limiting myself, but for right now, where I am now, I'm knitting. Where I am now, it doesn't seem like something I'll be able to do. And then I try to learn Japanese because me and my friends were really big into anime for a while. So I try to learn Japanese. Got a few phrases down, but they have so many alphabets, so many characters to remember, and my brain is just like, yeah, let's not. let's not do that. And to learn a language, you need to have someone to talk to too. I kind of stopped watching anime as well, so um, just because I don't have the time. Some of my favorite animes, like Lucky Star and Noir, Kamigazuketo-chan. That was a good one. I watched Kurocha for a while. And then, let me see, what other animes? I was a big Sailor Moon fan. I liked Sailor Moon. Did not like Darien. Did not like Tuxedo Mask. He annoyed me so much because he was always getting kidnapped and always getting brainwashed. And I was like, he's useless. He's useless. I hate him. He's useless. Uh, um, and he was like in college, and she was barely graduating middle school. It was gross. It was gross, and I didn't like it. But anyways, um, there's a whole bunch of animes I kind of go back to every once in a while. But yeah, so Japanese didn't work out too well for me, but I do know a couple words here and there. And then what else? I watched a lot of Bollywood movies, so like there's a couple phrases from Bollywood movies that I recognize, and I like to listen to the songs, try to sing the songs. My favorite actress is Aishwarya Rai Bachchan. She's one of my favorite actresses from Bollywood. Yeah, and then oh, I used to watch Lydia's Italy, so I recognize the phrase. She goes, "Tutti e tamen a mangiare," and it's like, "Come to my table and eat," or something like that. And then I tried to learn Irish Gaelic for a while. uh, but the grammar, sentence grammar was like throwing me off. So I've put learning Irish Gaelic on a back burner. But I am learning Korean now, and the alphabet is easier to learn for me. So I've got the alphabet down, and I've been doing it on Duolingo for a while. Um, and so I can somewhat read. And I've been teaching my daughter some words that I know so that I have someone to talk to. I do like K dramas, but I like C dramas more. That's the problem because the storylines go faster and there's more physical interaction and there's more drama and there's more just I don't know, man. C dramas just do it for me. K dramas are nice, but sometimes they're frustratingly slow. Man. I will say, the one thing I like about K dramas are like the supernatural ones. Those are funny. Especially ones we like ghost ones, like Sell Your Haunted House was hilarious. Some of them are a little bit upsetting to me because I'm like, girl, you've had this ability to see ghosts for how long and they're still scaring you? That don't make no sense. But that's just my opinion. Like my master's son, where she was absolutely terrified of ghosts, and it's like, you've had this your whole life. You haven't gotten over it yet. Hey. Jeez. So, I am learning Hangul. Um, and surprisingly enough, learning Hangul has been helping me pronounce Spanish words better. And I notice if I'm trying to like formulate a sentence in my head, uh, to practice, like because it's one thing to be able to read it. It's another thing to hear it and understand what they're saying, but it's another thing to pull up that information and speak it, which is where I'm usually stuck at most of the time. So when I'm trying to do that, what I've noticed is I if I can't think of a word in Hangul, Spanish will pop up and give me the word in Spanish. Every once in a while, it'll give me a word in Japanese, but it's mostly just Spanish will pop up and give me the word, but it's in Spanish and it's not in Hangul. And it's so funny because I'm trying to formulate sentences in Hangul and I can't but instead, like a Spanish word pops out to complete the sentence, and it's pretty funny. But so that's that. And then so those are the languages I'm trying to learn. Really, it's just Hangul Korean because that's the only one that's sticking right now. Uh, and funny enough, Korean food is like one of the only foods that I can like eat no problem because Spanish food, like Mexican food or Spanish food, they have a lot of cheese and dairy, and I can't really have that. And they have a lot of beans and tomatoes, which is good, but those are high in nickel, so I can't really have that. And then the rice is delicious, but they usually season it with either dairy or tomatoes. I'm really limited in that sense, in that food. A lot of Chinese dishes are delicious, but they're really heavy and greasy, and I can only have them in moderation. There's a Vietnamese place here that's really good that I like to eat, but sometimes I can't eat that much. I really can't eat that much. Um, so Korean and Vietnamese and Japanese broth are like very they require a lot of ingredients. They require a lot of dedication. They require a lot of like the broth is one that looks simple, but it's so complex and it's not something I can easily cook. Um, and Korean food tends to be a little bit simpler for me to cook. Like I can make japchae because it's like, oh, you just chop up all these vegetables and you saute them a certain way and you marinate it a certain way and bada bing, bada boom, there you go. Japchae. And it's so delicious and healthy. I have to tweak a couple ingredients because I can't have them, but it's so good. It's so filling. And so it's been working out well for me. So I'm kind of happy about that. What else? Oh, education. So I have a bachelor's degree in business, um, business management and human resources, and an associate's degree in business administration. So I have technically two degrees. One's a 2 year degree technically, and the other one's a 4 year. So I went to Rio Hondo, which is in Whittier, and got my associate's degree there. And then I transferred to Cal Poly Pomona, uh, which is in the city of Pomona, and I got my bachelor's degree there. And a couple of my professors wanted me to go for a master's degree, but one of them was like, yeah, don't do that until you get a job that pays for that. You don't want to be overqualified for a position with no experience. So I do have a bachelor's degree in business, which is like the go anywhere degree because you really can go anywhere with that degree. Um, what else? Um, oh, oh yeah, I already mentioned that, so I don't have to mention that again. So yeah, just I have a job now that utilizes so many of my different skills and abilities that I really enjoy it. Um, and I really like working there. It's really nice. People are really nice too. Um, because I was raised the way I was, I don't really have much of a cultural basis. I was raised Catholic. That's basically the culture I was raised in is Catholicism. Just not really a culture at all, but we were raised whitewashed Catholic in an Asian neighborhood. So a lot of my mannerisms mimic that. So if I'm meeting new people, I will bow. It's an automatic response, and I know it tricks some people out. They're like, "Why do you do that?" I'm like, "I'm sorry. I grew up in a city where that was normal." I'm not being sarcastic, or I'm not like doing it to just show you this skill that I learned. No, this is just an automatic response because that's what I grew up around. I don't make eye contact with you because I grew up in around culture that making eye contact was rude, and you don't really touch people without permission. So that's kind of where I'm at. But when I moved back home to New Mexico, people aren't really touchy out here either. They're kind of like in their own space. I call it the introvert state because you kind of keep to yourself, which I like. No one's really up in your business. No one's really like inviting you out, and I like that because I'm an introvert. I'm an INTJ. On the Myers-Briggs personality test, I am an INTJ. Uh, so I don't mind that at all. But everyone kind of keeps to themselves, and I like that. But the personalities out here are very similar to my own, and I think that therefore it's safe to say my cultural identity is New Mexican, because that's all I can say. I come from a very mixed family, mixed Hispanic family, because anybody who descends from Spanish origin is Hispanic. So I'm like a mixed Hispanic person that has no uh, paperwork that states any other ethnicity but white. So, like, I have great uncles that have draft cards that state their race is white, but like their their skin complexion is like dark brown. So I, you know, I don't. If you wanted to ask, what ethnicity are you? I'm like, I can't tell you. I don't know. I can't really tell you because there's no paperwork that confirms any cult ethnicity. You know. And the ethnicity I'm pretty sure I am, you can't really claim it unless you have that paperwork to prove that you are. Um, so I'm kind of trying to find that out, but it's so hard because it's been so buried. So I just now say I'm a mutt or I'm a New Mexican, and people either understand that or they don't. Um, I don't know what other questions you might have for me. Oh, I have two older siblings. I'm the youngest of three. My older siblings are 4 years and 5 years older than me. Several cousins, several aunts and uncles. My dad was the second youngest of 7 kids, I think. And there was a bunch of other half siblings with that. So I have several family members. I don't talk to any of them for different reasons, but it's just their personalities just clash with my own, I guess is the best way to put that. Oh, sports. I like sports. I played soccer most of my life. I was the goalkeeper. Got most of my injuries in soccer. And then I ran track. I didn't do sprints or anything, but I did hurdles. And then I was in football. I was a D lineman. I did it for 2 years in high school, junior year and senior year of high school. I was on the varsity football team, the only girl, and the first year I was on special teams, so I did like kickoff return and kickoff, and I was mostly spare parts. And then the second year, meaning they would take my mouthpiece for someone else who lost their mouthpiece, or they would take my helmet clip for someone who lost their helmet, that kind of thing. And then the second year I was a D lineman, and I would go in third, fourth quarter, and so it was on nose most of the time, nose guard. I was the nose guard They were the nose. And then I would do cut blocks. So that was my job, to do cut blocks to make sure they couldn't run down the middle. So that's what I did in high school. But I got injured in soccer. And so, oh man, I can tell when it's going to rain because that's my injuries. I was in show choir in high school as well. I was in choir most of my life. And then I was in show choir in high school for like 2.5 years. Yeah, because I joined football, I want to say the end of sophomore year, because you have the spring ball and all of that. So that's when I joined. Yeah, and then so junior, so about 2 years and a few months, because I got kicked out of show choir because I chose to go to football practice instead of choir practice, and my diva choir director did not like that, and so he kicked me out. And I was like, all right, fine. My grades are really bad right now because of choir, so goodbye. And then I spent junior, senior year trying to get my GPA back up from it falling so far because of all the energy that was getting sucked into choir. I'm still a little bit traumatized about it. Okay, it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. I was in honors and AP classes as well. So my school is like super nerdy because of the dynamic of the demographic of the schools I went to. My friends and I would always just compete for who could get the better grade. So that was kind of like you weren't a cool kid unless you were in at least one AP class. So AP class is basically a class you use to for college credit. So you have your honors classes and then you have your AP classes. And like in America, the highest GPA is like a 4.0 unless you have AP classes. Then it's weighted. So I think our valedictorian, oh my God, had like a 4.6 something. It was pretty high up there. She was pretty amazing. But yeah, so that's my education pretty much. What else? Oh, height. So I am 5'4.5". So that makes me 100 and was it 173 centimeters? I think so. It's 173 centimeters, 5'4.5". And then weight wise, I am 160 pounds, and that's 73 kilograms, I believe, and about, it's 7 stone. I don't remember. There was a brief time where I was watching a lot of British murder mysteries, and so they used the measurement of stone for weight, and I think stones are like 14 pounds. It translates to about 14 pounds, so that's about 7 kilograms, 7 something kilograms. So 160, 14. I don't feel like doing math. It's between 7 to 10. 7 to 10 stone. That's how much I weigh, I think. Oh no, 10 stone is 140 pounds. So then I'm like 12 stone? Anyways. I don't mind saying my weight because I don't really care. I've always been kind of heavier, on the heavy side. but that's because I have like a lot of muscle mass in my legs. Like I'm not people don't think I weigh that much. That's the funny part. They're like, "You don't weigh that much. You're so small." And I was like, "I weigh probably 20 pounds heavier than you do, dude. You probably could not even lift me up," which I like because it makes it harder to kidnap me. Ah. Guys can't just pick me up because I'm too heavy. But it doesn't look like I'm that heavy and it makes me laugh. So, um, anyways. I like watching scary movies, not gory movies, because like the Saw franchise, I'm not interested in. It's just gore to be gore. It's just not no depth. I like horror movies like House on Haunted Hill or The Haunting or Gothica, which was a pretty trippy movie. Oh my god, that movie was. I think the only movie that really like I think the Final Destination movies really like messed with me a bit, and then the Event Horizon I watched as a kid, and so that's kind of scarring. So I like scary, spooky movies. I'm not too big into rom coms. Don't like that too much. I like Bollywood movies. They know how to hit my cry button. I do generally like musicals. um, what else? I like hiking. I like going outside, just not where people are. I don't mind nature. I like being outside in nature. I just don't like being around people too much. I can tolerate it, but I'm an introvert, so that's kind of draining on me. But you can take me out hiking all day long, no problem. I'll enjoy every second of it. Um, what else? What else? What else? What else? My favorite animals are the cheetah and the hyena and the Mexican gray wolves, particularly the Mexican gray wolf because they have such expressive facial features and I love it so much. Uh, I do have a small liking towards coyotes just because they're mischievous and I like that. Um, yeah, I like hawks and owls. Okay, I'm bored of this now. Look, they're good. But you can see where my brain gets bored and then I start doing a different pattern. Then I gotta do something else. So, and I think that's it. I gotta start making my dinner for the week and my lunch for the week because I cook everything. Um, mm, what else? I think that's it. I do a lot of massages for my kid and myself. I do a lot of lymphatic massages for me and my kid because we have seasonal allergies. So we got to drain all that. And then I like leather goods and black velvet. Like velvet itself, I love. I like wood furniture. I'm not a big fan of glass or metal furniture. I like wood furniture. And I like oh, my favorite flower is the plumbago, which is this shrub basically, but I like the violet blue flowers from that shrub. They're my favorite flowers. I do like sunflowers. Um, I don't like lilies. I don't like lilies. But that's because the smell is just so strong, it affects my sense of taste and smell. So, I don't like lilies at all. I like roses, but I like the French lace roses. Um, they're so pretty, like the light white ones with like a tinge of pinky orange. Those are my favorite. But I think that's all. Um, I guess my favorite band is Stray Kids because their music is always on point. I don't think there's really an album that I didn't have a song that I liked. So I like music, but I'm not so much like a band. The only other band that I know that I like is My Chemical Romance and She Wants Revenge, but like I don't have more than one of their CDs. But for Stray Kids, I have a lot of their CDs because I like their music because it's interesting and it stays interesting. It's not, it stays, it's consistently good, but it's also a variety, and so my brain likes that. It connects well with that. So, um, mm, I think that's it. So, okay, I'm gonna end this live, and I did see a couple people popping in and out, so thank you for clicking in and just seeing what was going on and then clicking out. I do that too, so it's fine. I think that's it. Okay. Well, bye.